Here's the control box for my G0704 conversion. So I used a box I got off DigiKey from a company called Highbox. You can click it like that. It's all shut. It's got a gasket around the outside of it. And I've got all the connectors at the back here. There's a pretty good argument to be made for putting those on the bottom, but I went for convenience. And so it just opens up like that. It makes it really nice for getting access, service, and whatnot. In here I've got the Planet-CNC board, main CPU. It's powered up a little bit now because it's plugged into the computer. It runs off USB. I've got a relay card in here. I haven't wired that up yet, but that'll go to the spindle and the drives for outputs for fluids if I want those. Main power is here, so 110 volts comes in, goes through a circuit breaker. Got a power switch at the back and on the front, and they're in series, so they both have to be on. And that comes over here, brings 110 volt power to here. It's all turned off now. And then 110 volt power goes out to power this 12 volt power supply and this 50 volt power supply. So through the fuses, power goes out here through the motor drivers. So these come off of Planet-CNC board. The inputs go in here. The outputs go out to DB9 connectors. And I have a G540, so I use the same DB9 connector wiring. I've got a CNC mill, and I try to keep everything the same across, so I can take this and run my CNC mill and vice versa. And I have some ribbon cable connectors here. That goes up to the jog box. I've got limit switches all wired in here. They all wire in through an external box here. And then on the door I've got the controller for the motor, the spindle motor. And so that's got the main power coming in here, 110 volt. And then it's got the drive out to the motor, the sense from the motor. It's got the e-stop connector here. And so that all wires in, and I didn't do that fancy through a connector. I just sort of shoved the wires through a hole I made in the back of the box. So anyway, that works pretty well. Got this fan here, cools these, although I've never noticed them to get very hot. And I've got 4 axes, even though I'm only using 3 now. I can wire up an extra axis when I need to.